At least 116 people have been killed so far and more than 2,600 arrested since the unrest began late last month. Eyewitnesses report security forces using rifles against crowds, with disturbing accounts of hospitals overwhelmed by casualties. The regime has blamed foreign interference, pointing fingers at the United States, while President Donald Trump has said that he is ready to help to deal with the situation. Have a look.
ישראל עוקבת בדריכות על הנעשה באיראן. הפגנות למען החירות התפשטו ברחבי המדינה. העם בישראל, העולם כולו, משתאה מול הגבורה האדירה של אזרחי איראן. ישראל תומכת במאבקם לחופש ומגנה בתקיפות את מעשה הטבח ההמוני באזרחים חפים מפשע. כולנו תקווה שהאומה הפרסית תשתחרר מקרוב מעול העריצות, וכשיום זה יגיע, ישראל ואיראן יחזרו להיות שותפות נאמנות בבניית עתיד של שגשוג ושלום לשני העמים.
President Trump is warning Iran of consequences as unrest spreads across the country. CNN's Jomana Karachi takes a closer look at the protests and Tehran's response. Have a look.
Iran is facing its biggest internal crisis in years as anti-regime protests spread like a wildfire to every single one of its 31 provinces. Here in the city of Mashhad, the birthplace of the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, protesters take down the Islamic Republic's flag and tear it to pieces.
Hello and welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Hemkaur Saroya, and here's what we've lined up for you this morning. Let's get started. CBI to grill TVK Chief and actor Vijay in connection with the Karur stampede case, intensifying political and legal scrutiny. After Madras High Court orders a stay, makers of Vijay's Jananayagan likely to move Supreme Court. Political row over Hindutva intensifies. First, Congress's Manishankar Iyer says Hindutva is the perverter of Hinduism. Mahua Moitra says Hinduism needs protection from Hindutva, claims interfaith love is dismissed as love jihad. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz arrives in India on a two-day visit, set to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Ahmedabad. Defence, trade and strategic cooperation on the agenda. Kerala and centre face-off sharpens as Home Minister Amit Shah rejects economic blockade charge amid Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's protest call. And it's ED versus Mamata Banerjee battle that has now reached the Supreme Court after Calcutta High Court defers hearing in the IPAC case. BJP-led Mahayuti unveils the manifesto for the Mumbai civic polls, pitches AI to identify Bangladeshi and Rohingya migrants. Multiple suspected Pakistani drones spotted along the border in Jammu and Kashmir. Security forces on high alert. As the Iran protests enter the third week, Trump says Iran wants to negotiate even as the United States weighs military action. Now caught in the eye of a double storm, TVK Chief Vijay has left Chennai for Delhi, facing the CBI questioning in this Karur stampede case. He is expected to land shortly via chartered flight. Will proceed to the CBI headquarters, where he has been summoned as a witness following a Supreme Court ordered probe. Meanwhile, a separate legal battle looms over the censor board certification of his upcoming film. The makers of his film are likely to approach the Supreme Court today, challenging the Madras High Court's order on censor certification. Listen to this.
Actor turned politician Vijay is all set to leave for the national capital to appear before the CBI today, and you can see the visuals on your screen. Vijay's vehicle is now coming towards the VIP entrance of the airport. Just a short while ago, TVK leaders including Adav Arjun as well as CTR Nirmal Kumar had arrived, and now on your screen you can see the car that's coming towards the VIP entrance. This is a car of actor turned politician Vijay. They are taking a private charter to travel to Delhi to appear before the CBI. The timing of this is at around 11 a.m. and you can see Vijay now arriving at the VIP entrance of the Chennai airport. From here they will take a private charter and they will be going to Delhi. All eyes on the developments, and this in connection with the Karur tragedy that led to the death of 41 people. Along with Vijay, TVK leaders including Adav Arjun, Busi Anand, all of them will be accompanying Vijay. Earlier, the CBI had summoned other leaders of the TVK and the TVK had told the CBI that they alleged that there is conspiracy as far as Karur tragedy is concerned. Meanwhile, Karur district administration, they were also summoned by the CBI and when they went to Delhi and they appeared before the CBI, the district administration had blamed TVK and the delay in Vijay's arrival as the reason why the stampede took place.
All right. Now, so this is where things stand. It's been a setback after another for actor turned politician Vijay from the Karur stampede. Then the issues with his songs, and that is the Jananayagan movie that we are seeing as well. There are some certification issues there. Meanwhile, as we've just mentioned, he has been summoned by the CBI for questioning in the Karur stampede case. As you know, that had wider political ramifications for Vijay and the TVK as well. With him in the national capital today, and he is expected to be grilled over what exactly happened. As Purnima mentioned in her report, there are questions over why he was late. There was a delay of some 7 hours, which is being cited as the reason as to why there was such massive crowd gathered there, and that is why things got out of control. So these are some of the things that we will be unpacking through the course of the day. We have to, of course, wait and see what sort of statements come out of the Supreme Court ordered probe as well, for which he is coming to New Delhi today for questioning at the CBI headquarters. He is caught in the eye of a double storm. TVK Chief Vijay has left Chennai for Delhi. He, of course, faces the CBI questioning in the Karur tragedy case. He is expected to land shortly via chartered flight and will proceed immediately to the CBI headquarters. Now, he has been summoned as a witness following this probe. Meanwhile, a separate legal battle looms over the censor certification of his upcoming film. The makers of his film are likely to approach Supreme Court today as well to challenge the Madras High Court order on censor certification. For more on this, we have Purnima live with us, who's been bringing us all the ground updates. Purnima, let me just come to you. Of course, there's a lot that remains unanswered at this point. There has been a setback after another factor turned politician Vijay on multiple fronts. What can you tell us?
Absolutely. Setback for Vijay as far as the movie Jananayagan is concerned, because the movie is awaiting the censor certificate and facing legal hurdles. And today, TVK Chief Vijay has been summoned to appear before the CBI at around 11 a.m. in connection with the Karur tragedy where 41 died. So Vijay has left for New Delhi at around 7:40 p.m. His private plane took off. So he will be reaching Delhi between 10 and 10:30, and then he will be heading straight to the CBI. At least at the moment, the CBI has called him only as a witness and he will be submitting a statement. They will be recording a statement of Vijay. But if there are inconsistencies or if they want to inquire further, then he will be questioned. But at the moment, it's just recording of a statement. But it depends on how the development pans out. All eyes on that development, and at 11 a.m. is when the CBI has called Vijay for questioning. So he will be reaching the CBI office between 10:45 and 11. All eyes on that. But here TVK remains tight-lipped. They will only react depending on how the CBI inquiry pans out in New Delhi.
Right, Poonima, of course, we have to look at the multiple lapses at that Karur rally as well, which is what led to that tragedy. Let's just go through these one by one. There were multiple lapses which have been cited as the reason as to why the stampede broke out there. Let's just go through these. Number one, the crowd size there was 3 times the approved limit at the rally. A crowd of 27,000 people at a venue which only could accommodate about 10,000 people. You can imagine the kind of chaos that ensued then. Insufficient crowd control measures in place. As I mentioned earlier, the crowd size was 3 times the approved limit. They did not have enough adequate measures in place to then handle that sort of pressure. Poor management of traffic and crowd movement is another reason. Inadequate medical and police response arrangements. So 27,000 people at a venue which could accommodate only about 10,000. Poonima, these are the various lapses which have come to light in the Karur stampede tragedy. Lots that Vijay needs to answer here as well. Of course, the biggest thing that we've been talking about is that there was a 7-hour delay. People were apparently not informed of this delay either, Poonima, which is what then led to the tragedy, is what is being cited as one of the reasons here as well. When we talk about the 7-hour delay, they still did not have enough measures in place. Of course, the people who were present there must have seen that the crowd was slowly swelling beyond the permissible limits.
Absolutely. Many points that you said is also being looked into. The TVK, of course, they had announced that Vijay will reach the Karur spot at around 12. So 12:01 and people started gathering, but Vijay came only between 6:30 and 7, by which time the crowds, there was overcrowding. Overcrowding was one reason why the stampede took place, and the other reason being the venue was a narrow lane and there was also a ditch on one side. So when there was overcrowding, it was not able to accommodate more than 24,000 people, and the police said that they only allowed TVK to organize 10,000 people, but the crowds were more than what was mentioned in one of the conditions that was put forth by the district administration. TVK, however, says that the venue was not fit even to accommodate 10,000 people, and they allege that there's conspiracy in terms of giving the venue to them, in terms of the way they say that there wasn't enough security, but police said that they did employ that they did deploy lots of police officers there, considering that for every Vijay rally there are huge crowds. So one for every 25 people was deployed is the official statement that's coming from the police. But blame game between the Tamil Nadu government, district administration on the one side continues pointing fingers at TVK for delay in Vijay's arrival, and number two, proper arrangements not being made. There was no adequate water supply for those who gathered. All the basic amenities were not taken care of, and because of excessive heat and lack of water bottles there, that resulted in many people fainting, is the version that's coming in from the Karur district administration. TVK in response to that says that it's basically, they allege that it's conspiracy. They were not given a proper venue, and they were not and there wasn't enough police deployment there. These are some of the measures or points that are reiterated by TVK ever since the stampede took place on the 27th of February. And now the CBI is investigating all angles. The CBI will complete its investigation and find out the sequence of events that led to the Karur stampede. All eyes on how the investigation progresses, and all eyes on how the investigation with Vijay also progresses, which begins at 11 a.m. We will get more clarity once that begins at 11 a.m. We will get to know whether Vijay will be only recording a statement or whether there will be a further inquiry with the actor turned politician as well.
Right, Poonima, stay on with us. We also have with us Arunima live from the CBI headquarters. Good morning, Arunima. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. Of course, as Poonima mentioned, it remains to be seen if there's going to be further inquiry after his statements are recorded today. What sort of implications today's summon is going to have in terms of politics? That's, of course, something that remains to be seen. I want to ask you, what can we expect today?
So before I answer the politics and the investigation part, I want to give you a sense of the security bandobast here at the CBI headquarters. Delhi police deployment just outside the CBI headquarters office. The traffic from the carriageway which takes you towards CBI from the CGO complex side. That carriageway has been completely emptied of traffic. You see on this side, traffic from both sides is moving. Just outside CBI headquarters too, there are officials from Delhi police who are standing by. CBI officials are coming in one by one, but Delhi police and some paramilitary staff members who are usually deployed at CBI, they're all on duty. Arpit, if you zoom in on the other side also, there is deployment on that carriageway, because that is where Vijay's car is going to stop, and he's expected to go inside straight after landing at Delhi airport. His team has already gotten in touch with the Delhi police, talking about security that might be required as he moves from Delhi airport to CBI. Vijay has a huge fan following down south, but even here the police is not wanting to take any chances, hence the security bandobast. Now coming back to your question about what can be expected, okay, already announcements are being made about that carriageway being emptied, and while Arpit is showing you those shots, let me take you through what is expected. When Vijay arrives here, he will be asked questions pertaining to that day when the stampede occurred, the delay which led to the crowd getting restless. Vijay's arrival was delayed. At what point did he get to know that there was a problem as far as crowd management was concerned? There were announcements made about a child being missing. So at that point, was Vijay already aware that crowd management was becoming an issue? Why did he leave the venue? When he left the venue, was he aware about the stampede? Was he aware about the deaths that had happened? These are all questions that CBI is going to put to him. His own party colleagues have been questioned, and also some of the district administration officials from Karur have been questioned by CBI. They have given their statement. So today they'll try and see if there are any gaps that Vijay's statement could fill, or if there are further contradictions between the statements given by the various responders, and only then the next course of action by the CBI will be decided.
Absolutely, Arunima. Of course, as you've mentioned as well, we're looking at the deaths of 41 people as a result of the chaos that ensued that day. As Purnima was mentioning earlier, this is a narrow lane that we're talking about. To call it a venue is also a bit of a stretch at this point. In that case, then, one could argue, did the organizers not scout the venue and see whether it was fit to accommodate the number of people that they were expecting? Because 10,000 in itself is not a small amount of people that you're trying to accommodate into a narrow lane when you know that this is a rally, as you mentioned. So there's a lot of discrepancies in that account as well.
Yes, so the contradiction, and you've seen political blame game flying thick and fast ever since the loss of lives. Some have blamed the local administration, saying that you deliberately did not take enough steps because you wanted, Vijay is a political player in the run-up to the elections in Tamil Nadu as well. So you did not want to give him that head start. That's one allegation that has come in towards the DMK government and the district administration. The other has been that the district administration had warned Vijay and his party organizers, but they did not pay heed. So who really is to be blamed? Was this just a case of miscalculation and an unfortunate incident, or was this, is this case made out of criminal negligence? Who should be held accountable is the big question. Allegations have flown thick and fast, and today Vijay's questioning will be one more attempt by CBI to pinpoint, like I said, if this is a case of criminal negligence, can it be turned into a case of culpable homicide not amounting to murder? Was there any deliberate discrepancy in the crowd management? Did the organizers deliberately look away when the district administration warned them as well? Who's to be blamed for the death? I think that's the big picture that the CBI is looking at.
Right. Absolutely, Arunima. Whether this was just an unfortunate incident or a case of criminal apathy, that is something that remains to be seen at this point. We'll continue to bring you all the developments on that front as well. Let's shift our focus for now. It's Hindutva versus Hinduism debate that is reignited. Hindutva sees interfaith love as love jihad, not Hinduism. This is a statement by Mawa Moitra, Trinamool Congress MP. She's drawn a clear distinction between Hinduism and Hindutva, calling them separate ideologies. Mawa Moitra has argued that Hinduism accommodates diversity, including the possibility of love between Hindus and Muslims, whereas Hindutva would label such relationships as love jihad. She said that Hindutva is a political ideology that believes it is the only correct path, while Hinduism is a spiritual tradition that allows multiple interpretations. The BJP has hit back as well. Let's just listen to the various statements.
Hindutva believes that as a political platform, mine is the only way, and Hinduism believes as a religion and a spiritual platform that there is room for a lot of others along the way. Hindu practices and Hinduism can imagine love between Hindus and Muslims. A Hindutva practitioner will say, no, this is love jihad. So a Bengali Hindu eating meat will offer meat to Ma Kali, but a practitioner of Hindutva will say that's not on. So the core question here is, does Hinduism need to protect itself from Hindutva? I would say that the best way to continue to protect Hinduism is to continue to realize that Hindutva is there because Hindutva was there, because Hinduism was there.
Which culture gives you the authority to debate even on religious texts? It is only Hindu. Shastrarth in Vedas. Then I would like to ask, why the term Hinduism? Why the ism is associated with all the religions which originated from India? Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism and Jainism. Never you have heard Islamism and Christianism. Ism word is being associated just to demean. And what Hindutva is? Hindu Tat. This is nothing but the basic immunity of the Hinduism is Hindu Tattva. Another thing I would like to say, when you cherish Hinduism, it is called Hindutva.
All right, for more on this, we have Pallavi Ghosh live with us. Pallavi, good morning. Thank you for joining me. Of course, we're really just getting down to the semantics here. We're talking about Hinduism versus Hindutva there. Mahua Moitra saying that Hinduism perhaps needs protection from Hindutva. And of course, there have been some opposing arguments to that also. What can you tell us?
See, for the BJP, there's no difference between Hinduism and Hindutva. That I think Sudhanshu Trivedi made it very, very clear when he responded at that Calcutta debate which was taking place. But whether it's been the Congress party, whether it's been Mahua Moitra, the Trinamool Congress, they've always found a distinction between the two. According to them, Hinduism is tolerant, Hinduism is inclusive. The whole concept of Hindutva has been put forward by the BJP, and that Hindutva is something which is divisive in nature, restrictive. If you listen to what Mahua Moitra's speech was all about at the Calcutta Debate Club, interaction that she was having, she was saying, for example, Hinduism allows people to live together of different faiths, and that is what their Bengal culture has been all about. I remember she got into a lot of controversy a couple of years back when she spoke about Ma Kali also having meat or non-vegetarian food. And in Bengal, that is considered to be a given thing, according to Mahua Moitra. She says Hinduism will allow that, tolerate that, but the Hindutva concept pushed forward by the BJP, which has now become a part of the BJP's politics, is one which divides people. You cannot eat this, you cannot wear this, you cannot stay together. These kind of religious practices cannot be practiced across boards. So therefore, there is going to be no end to this debate. However, I suspect that in the Bengal elections, where polarization is again going to be a big issue, Hindu versus Muslims, inclusive politics of the BJP pushed forward by the BJP's narrative versus the appeasement politics of Mamata Banerjee, all of this will become an important fodder during the campaign for Bengal.
Right, just stay on with us, Pallavi. We're getting more information. Also, speaking at the same event as Mahua Moitra, senior Congress leader Manishankar Iyer launched a sharp critique of Hindutva as well. Iyer described Hindutva as Hinduism in paranoia, alleging that it seeks to make India's Hindu majority fear its Muslim minority. Referring to V.D. Savarkar's writings, he said that Hindutva viewed even Buddhism as a threat due to its emphasis on universalism and non-violence. Listen to this.
Hindutva is Hinduism in paranoia. It asks 80% Hindus to quiver in front of 14% Muslims. What is Hindutva? Hindutva is a BJP leader slapping a blind, hungry tribal girl because she attends a Christmas lunch in a church. Hindutva raids shopping malls to tear down Christmas decorations. Savarkar described Buddhism as an existential threat to all Indians, to all Hindus.
Manishankar Ayyar is at it again. After doing Sena ka apman, now it is Sanatan ka apman. This is the same line of Congress, that Hindutva is ISIS and Boko Haram. Rahul Gandhi has also abused Hindutva. This is like saying that Ma and Matritva are different. Hindutva has been defined by Supreme Court as a way of life. Yet, Congress party keeps insulting Hindutva. And does Uddhav Thackeray agree with what Congress is saying? Does Uddhav Thackeray agree with what Manishankar Ayyar is saying? That Hindutva promotes violence? Time and again, Hindu Astha, Hindu ka karo apman has become Congress's only pehchan. They have constantly attacked Hindus because they feel that Hindu Astha par chot will give them vote bank ka vote.
Right, now Pallavi, let me just come back to you. Clearly what we're seeing here is a larger debate on the etymology of Hindutva and Hinduism. There we're seeing the war of words that's broken out over this. If you were to go by the BJP's logic which it has given, it says it just means Hindu Tattva, Tattva being the Sanskrit word for element. So that is really what the debate is about at this point, and the political ideology that it appears to represent.
A little bit beyond that also. I mean, look, the Trinamool Congress and the Congress party is speaking in the same voice. And Manishankar speaking the language of Rahul Gandhi, because I remember Rahul Gandhi on multiple international platforms, he would also make a similar point where he says, I am a true Hindu. Congress party follows Hinduism, BJP follows Hindutva. So the difference that is being clearly made out by the opposition leaders is that Hinduism is inclusive in nature. It doesn't make a difference to them who you're eating with, whom you're hobnobbing with. Whereas the Hindutva, which is the BJP's concept of Hinduism, is by nature going to be divisive. You know, for example, he talks about Bajradal activists attacking some Hindu women, talking about, you know, demolition of the mosque or masjid as the case may be, or what you're eating. If you're eating beef, then you're targeted, because that's not what Hinduism teaches you. That is what Hindutva teaches you, according to both the Congress party and the Trinamool Congress.
Right, you're right, Pallavi. Thank you so much for your analysis and your perspective on this also. Now, of course, we'll continue to track all the developments on that front, but we are going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. News and updates will continue on the other side on CNN News 18.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
To Iran now, defiance continues in the streets of Iran as anti-government protests enter their third week, spreading across all 31 provinces, viewers. Despite a harsh crackdown by security forces under Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, demonstrators refuse to back down. As per reports, at least 116 people have been killed so far and more than 2,600 arrested since the unrest began late last month. Eyewitnesses report security forces using rifles against crowds, with disturbing accounts of hospitals overwhelmed by casualties. The regime has blamed foreign interference, pointing fingers at the United States, while President Donald Trump has said that he is ready to help to deal with the situation. Have a look.
ישראל עוקבת בדריכות על הנעשה באיראן. הפגנות למען החירות התפשטו ברחבי המדינה. העם בישראל, העולם כולו, משתאה מול הגבורה האדירה של אזרחי איראן. ישראל תומכת במאבקם לחופש ומגנה בתקיפות את מעשה הטבח ההמוני באזרחים חפים מפשע. כולנו תקווה שהאומה הפרסית תשתחרר מקרוב מעול העריצות, וכשיום זה יגיע, ישראל ואיראן יחזרו להיות שותפות נאמנות בבניית עתיד של שגשוג ושלום לשני העמים.
President Trump is warning Iran of consequences as unrest spreads across the country. CNN's Jomana Karachi takes a closer look at the protests and Tehran's response. Have a look.
Iran is facing its biggest internal crisis in years as anti-regime protests spread like a wildfire to every single one of its 31 provinces. Here in the city of Mashhad, the birthplace of the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, protesters take down the Islamic Republic's flag and tear it to pieces. Dozens of protesters have been killed, hundreds injured, and thousands detained, according to activists and human rights groups. But that did not appear to deter Iranians who poured onto the streets of Tehran and other cities. The regime shut down communications, with fears now growing that they're once again using the blackout to unleash an even more brutal crackdown. President Trump has repeated his threat to hit the regime hard if they kill protesters. Chants for the return of the monarchy, something we hadn't heard during previous waves of protests. Some of the demonstrators appear to be heeding the calls of this man, Reza Pahlavi, the eldest son of the last Shah of Iran. The 65-year-old came to the United States when he was 17 and remained exiled there after his father, the former Shah, was overthrown in the 1979 Islamic Revolution. For years, the exiled crown prince has sought to present himself as a man who can lead Iran's opposition and rid the country of the repressive theocratic rule. In a Washington Post op-ed this week, Pahlavi said he doesn't see protesters chanting his name as a claim to power. Instead, he sees himself as a unifying transitional leader who would help guide the country from tyranny to democracy. But he is a divisive figure. While he does have the support of many Iranian monarchists who are nostalgic for the days of the Shah, it is unclear just how much support he really has inside the country. Many Iranians say Pahlavi hasn't set foot in the country in decades. He's too disconnected from the people who have been on the front lines of the battle for freedom and democracy. Jumana Karachi, CNN, London.
Viewers, we also have CNN News 18's Akansha Swaroop, who spoke exclusively with British activist Tommy Robinson, who reacted to the unrest in Iran, condemned Sharia law and questioned the West's silence on protests and violence against women. Please take a look.
What's your Sunday protest in the UK hoping to achieve for Iranians? Is it time for the diaspora community of Iran to finally stand up, given we've seen Iranians in New York having rallied in support of Iran's national revolution?
I'm literally going as a supporter. I'm going to show solidarity with the brave and fearless people of Iran. Now, in Britain, because a lot of people say, what's it have to do with Britain? It has a lot to do with Britain because we helped put the Ayatollah in, as did the West, America. We have dirty hands. It's time to correct a historical wrong. That's what I believe. And it's time to stand with those brave, fearless people. For 47 years, they've lived in slavery. I've kept my eye on Iran since the start of my activism. Iran's very different to Afghanistan, Iraq, for the people who are trying to equate it with that situation. Because many of those countries were happy to live under Sharia. If you listen to the views of the people in Iraq and Afghanistan and these countries, they want Sharia, they want Islam. That's very different to Persia. It's very different to the Iranian people who have been enslaved by it.
So do you think that the Iranian women will now ensure that there are new beginnings for Iran this time around, where they're basically done with the Sharia, they're done with the hijab?
They never wanted the Sharia, they never wanted the hijab. It was forced upon them. So I pray that they do get their freedom. And
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, of course, our focus is on Vijay versus Centre. Caught in the eye of a double storm, TVK Chief Vijay has left Chennai for Delhi, as I mentioned earlier, facing the CBI questioning in the Karur tragedy case. He is expected to land shortly via chartered flight and will then proceed to the CBI headquarters, where he has been summoned as a witness following a Supreme Court ordered probe. Meanwhile, a separate legal battle looms over the censor certification of his upcoming film. The makers of his film are likely to approach the Supreme Court today, challenging the Madras High Court's order on the censor certification. But we also have to talk about the political ramifications of this. And for more on this, I'm being joined by Mr. R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist, as well as Mr. Nand Kumar, a political analyst. Good morning to the both of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, we are talking about what's going to happen Good morning, sir. Of course, we're talking about what's going to happen today as well as the political ramifications it will have going forward. Mr. Nandakumar, let me just come to you first. What's your assessment of where things stand right now and what it's looking like for TVK Chief Vijay?
Yeah, as usual, as per the standard protocol, CBI has summoned Mr. Vijay, and Vijay's prompt compliance underscores his belief in the judiciary and also his cooperation to the agency.
Right. And of course, Mr. Rajgopal, let me just come to you. What's your assessment of where things stand right now?
Delhi Vijay's day, because Vijay is having Jananayagan release in Supreme Court and his own Karur incident, which when people died in CBI. So therefore, at least 40 to 50 lawyers are trying to help Mr. Vijay to come out of this legal tangle. And moreover, madam, Vijay is being crushed by DMK in all respects. It's a political issue. DMK wants to ensure that Mr. Vijay cannot take off. But incidentally, the state is reeling under anti-incumbency to the 90% tilt. Therefore, Karur is important for Vijay. Jananayagan is important for Vijay because it is his last film. Vijay has an eyeball-to-eyeball battle with the Red Giant Chief Vijay Nidhi. That is why DMK wants to ensure that Vijay is not, able to open his mouth. In short, I tell you, Vijay is going to create an atmosphere in Tamil Nadu politics. In another 2 months' time, you are going to have a state election. Madam, Vijay is going to be a nightmare for DMK and other political parties.
Right,
That is why his Delhi visit is significant. Today or tomorrow, 2 days, 3 days, whatever the days CBI wants him, he will definitely be posing the questions, answering the questions. And yesterday, the CBI team went to Karur with the bus where Mr. Vijay traveled in that bus and they took measurements, etc. Those engineers, those technical hands are also going to cross-question Mr. Vijay, and Vijay will come out very clean in this. That is my reading of the situation, because Vijay is going to blame DMK leader Sendil Balaji squarely. After Supreme Court has given him a relief, Mr. Vijay, and Vijay's advocates are also focusing on Mr. Sendil Balaji. According to Mr. Vijay, the Karur stampede is a man-made one. It's a state-sponsored one, according to him. That is why, even in front of the Union Home Minister, the state BJP leader, Mr. Nainar Nagendran, said, Sendil Balaji is the person who created this scene. Therefore, the allegations are on Sendil Balaji. I am very sure today, after Mr. Vijay's interrogation, Sendil Balaji will also be summoned. That is why the circle will come full. Otherwise, it is a one-sided, argument by CBI. Moreover, madam, Supreme Court monitored SIT. Ajay Rastogi, the former judge of Supreme Court, is monitoring the poll. He has submitted one report to the Supreme Court, and after this interrogation of Vijay, the final report will be submitted. By middle of February, the entire thing will come out before the Supreme Court. By March, Tamil Nadu will go for state election campaigns.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for mentioning that, because it's very important to talk about the political ramifications of this, and that's exactly what I was going to come to now. The CBI probe into the Karur stampede could have significant political implications in Tamil Nadu. Let's talk about it. They may frame the Karur stampede as a centre versus DMK fight. That's the sort of narrative that we may see emerge out of this entire battle. This narrative war then may unite Tamil sentiment before polls. AIADMK may be edged out of this political narrative, and Vijay then, just given the kind of clout that he commands, be framed as a martyr before the polls, which consequently, with him being framed as a martyr, could cut into the DMK's vote bank. So these are some of the political implications that we are likely to see in this entire case as well, which is also somewhat what Mr. Rajagopalan was saying. Mr. Nandakumar, let me come to you on that as well. The centre versus DMK battle and the narrative, do you think That's a fair assessment?
Actually, as you have put, it is not after the incident of Karur, Vijay is cutting into the DMK politics. It is right from the beginning. If you segment the voter buckets of Vijay and if you see it's youth, women, minorities and SC/STs. These are all the biggest vote bank of Vijay. And this is the reason why the DMK is so much worried about Vijay's venture into the politics, because initially DMK was thinking that Vijay will be cutting across the anti-incumbency vote. But once when they deep dived and looked into the continuous survey what they have been taking in the past few months, it is very clearly evident to them that he is eating into the core vote bank of DMK, which is going to cost DMK greatly in this election. And the crowd surge what coming behind Vijay, and for every event of the Vijay which we have seen right from the first event, this clearly shows that Vijay is seen as a hope by the Tamil Nadu people. And this is a clear-cut evidence that they want, the general public are in a great hunger for a political change in Tamil Nadu. So DMK is greatly worried about Vijay's coming into politics, and that is why, and as Mr. Rajagopalan said, Mr. Sendil Balaji has to be brought into the CBI inquiry. Not only that, there was a great allegation or there was a great drama and scene created by one of the minister, Mr. Anbil Magesh Poyamali, who gone to the hospital and he had created a big drama which was highly suspected among the public. So there were so many other government officials also. If you see the senior government officials in their interviews or the press meets, they have made deliberate attempts to absolve the subordinates that they have been taking the appropriate actions promptly. But if you closely monitor and get into the interviews or the press meets, what the government official likes, the then DGP in charge, Mamata IAS, who was spokesperson of Tamil Nadu and her team, and also the ADGP interview along with the chief engineer of electricity board and the district collector, there were so many contradictions between them, and there were so many contradicting statements made by each one of them. So the CBI inquiry has to be taken into a broader perspective, and more number of people should have been brought. Already 306 odd people have been brought into the CBI questioning, and their statements have been probed. And definitely these kind of evidences, informations, proofs, and as Rajagopalan said, the TVK has submitted the bus to the CBI, because the CBI initially, after the Chennai High Court order, the single judge order, it was seized by the bus was seized by the SIT. But in this case, the bus was not seized. The bus was called for by the CBI, which the Vijay and the TVK team has taken the bus to them for the examination, because the main allegation is that the venue denials, because initially they have asked for a place which is called Powerhouse Roundtana. And in that application, if you see the requisition letter, they have surveyed with an engineer and surveyor, and the space was amounting to 120,000 square feet, which can accommodate 60,000 odd people. But then they have been expecting around 10,000 plus. But that big place was denied by the authorities, and they have allocated the recent one where the incident has happened. So that incident is Velusamipuram is a very narrow road, and even the government officials have informed that this bus, when it got entered into the crowd, the surge has happened and the stampede has happened. But this bus was right royally approved by the RTO. They know the length, width, and every detail, single detail and technical aspects of the bus. But the government officials also have been blaming that on the bus too. So the CBI wanted to examine the bus. They have asked for the bus, and TVK party on their own, they have taken the bus to the CBI for their examination. So all the proofs, evidences, the CCTV footage, dashboard camera, high resolution camera, whatever is that, this will definitely exonerate Vijay and TVK from this issue.
Now, Mr. Rajagopalan, I believe you wanted to say something. I was going to come to you as well. Of course, we need to talk about this venue that we're talking about as well. It's this narrow lane which could have accommodated, were given to understand about 10,000 people. The number of people who turned up was closer to 30,000. What I am asking here is, clearly there should have been some sort of recce of this venue that we're talking about also, and if the crowd was getting out of control, there was the 7-hour delay, something of for sure could have been done in that time, one would argue. That being said, when we talk about this entire issue and the politics that's broken out over this, what's also important to talk about is that there were 41 lives lost in this tragedy, and accountability needs to be ensured as well.
Madam, जो करूर को पहले कम से कम 5 before the Karur incident, Mr. Vijay has addressed 5 rallies. And apart from this one, there are religious festivals, Velankanni, Tiruvalagar, everywhere 5 lakh, 10 lakhs people congregate to have celebrations. When all the functions were all smoothly going, why Karur was chosen to zero in Mr. Vijay? Vijay has been trapped in Karur so that his political journey will be cut like that. The DMK might have thought it. Second thing, as you asked me, Supreme Court has gone deep into this. The advocates of Vijay narrated everything. Supreme Court for the first time, madam, has dismissed the state government's commission of inquiry, Jagadishan, Subbalakshmi Jagadishan, and that was, squarely cut it out. Plus, the Chennai High Court judge was also reprimanded by the Supreme Court for his over-enthusiasm on one particular, political party in Tamil Nadu. So therefore, Supreme Court came heavily. As you said just now, 41 lives are important for not only for Vijay, not only for Supreme Court, for the entire Tamilian culture, for the human beings. Apart from that, Mr. Vijay, I am very sure, will not only cut into the votes of DMK, he has a vote bank of below 35 years. They are all crazy about Mr. Vijay's entry. Vijay has given 4 or 5, new thoughts. Now coming to the Karur, now we have ended this Karur, but I must also want to say Vijay's presence in Delhi is also an electrifying thing for Jananayagan 1. Jananayagan film, 500 crores they invested, not 1 or 2 rupees. And the producer also went on record saying that some unknown person has written a letter. Based on that, the Central Board of Film Certification has revised the order of their own order. So therefore, it's a legal tangle. Mr. Vijay is put under lot of legal tangles by the DMK, squarely by the Tamil Nadu government. Therefore, he has to come out of it. Both the Karur and Jananayagan, whether Karur will give him a speed or implementation or not, the CBI is going to compare. There are shortcomings from the Supreme Court, the state government side, also from Vijay's side. Therefore, the needle of suspicion, according to the CBI, which is probing into this for last 2 months, they are zeroing on a senior leader of DMK in the state.
All right. Well, Mr. Anand Kumar and Mr. Rajagopalan, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast with your perspective on this. We'll, of course, continue to track all developments through the course of the day. Thank you so much. All right. Let's shift our focus now. More breaking news is just coming in right now. Showdown between Annamalai and Raj Thackeray. A political controversy has erupted in Maharashtra following remarks by Maharashtra Navnirman Sena Chief Raj Thackeray ahead of the BMC polls. Thackeray targeted BJP leader K. Annamalai, mocking him as Rasmalai and questioning his right to speak on Mumbai matters. That's what he's saying. Now, Thackeray also invoked his Balasaheb Thackeray's controversial slogan. And Annamalai has responded to this as well, saying it's just not an insult to him, but Raj Thackeray has insulted the Tamils as well. So this is the controversy that has broken out over these alleged remarks. Listen to this.
काल परवाकडे कोणतरी एक तामिळनाडू बंदर रसमलाई आली होती. तो सांगतो मुंबईचा आणि म्हणजे महाराष्ट्राचा संबंध काय. भडव्या तुझाच काय संबंध आहे इथे याचा. यांच्यासाठीच माननीय बाळासाहेब बोलले होते हटाव लुंगी आणि बजाव पुंगी. आता अनेक दाक्षिणात्य इथे राहत आहेत.
राज ठाकरे, उद्धव ठाकरे जो आज इंडी अलायंस के साथ भी है, वो कहते हैं कि अन्ना मलाई रस मलाई है। मतलब कि तमिलनाडु से आने वाले एक व्यक्ति का इस प्रकार से मखौल और मजाक उड़ाते हैं, ओबीसी समाज का मजाक उड़ाते हैं, और केवल यही नहीं, पूरे दक्षिण भारत के लोगों का भी मखौल उड़ाते हुए, उनके प्रति हिंसा भड़काते हुए लुंगी इस प्रकार के शब्दों का इस्तेमाल भी करते हैं। ये उनकी मानसिकता को दिखाता है। जो इंडी अलायंस में उद्धव जी के साथ है और उद्धव जी राज ठाकरे के साथ है, ऐसे इंडी अलायंस के नेता, डीएमके के नेता क्या स्टैंड लेंगे? लेफ्ट के नेता क्या स्टैंड लेंगे इस बयान पर? चुप है, उनके मुंह पर गोंद लगी हुई है, वो कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे।
All right, for more on this, we have Mugilan on the phone line with us. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, the huge furor over these comments by Raj Thackeray. What can you tell us?
Now we are seeing Annamalai retorting to Raj Thackeray for his remarks yesterday, and today Annamalai has stated that it is not an insult to Annamalai. He has said he is used to insult, but whatever Raj Thackeray has said, it's not against an individual called Annamalai, but it's against the Tamils and their culture. So now we are seeing Annamalai accusing Raj Thackeray of insulting Tamils by making remarks in the meeting yesterday. Also stated that he will not be intimidated by the threats issued by Raj Thackeray, and he is a farmer son and he's proud farmer son, and he will definitely go to Maharashtra once again. He has stated that Raj Thackeray has warned that people will cut his legs if he lands in Maharashtra, Mumbai again. But he has dared Raj Thackeray, stating that he will definitely visit Mumbai again.
Absolutely. Now, Yasha, let me just come back to you. Of course, things have clearly escalated here. The war of words is broken out. Annamalai has responded as well, saying this is not just an insult to him, but to the larger people as well. What can you tell us, Yasha?
Absolutely. You know, this is not the first such instance where we see that the Thackeray family has been vocal against the South Indians. Clearly here we've seen this kind of a rhetoric being adopted by the Thackeray family even before. In fact, when Balasaheb Thackeray had a rhetoric against South Indians, and which is why yesterday, in an address at Shivaji Park, where both the Thackeray brothers came together for the first time, that is Raj and Uddhav Thackeray, we saw that Raj Thackeray had been clearly vocal about different communities, clearly taking the stance of the Marathi Manus. And this is the stance that we've seen being adopted by the Thackeray brothers ever since they've come together just ahead of the BMC elections. The question, however, remains as to what's really being done about reaching out to the Marathi Manus in Mumbai, because clearly the rhetoric that was adopted by Raj Thackeray went against the North Indians as well as South Indians, stating that there are people who come in from the other states and steal the jobs of the Marathi Manus, steal their houses. So, when it comes to the Shiv Sena, UBT, or for that matter, even the Shiv Sena of Eknath Shinde, they have been very clear that this election is all about Marathi.
All right, and these are the live visuals that we're getting right now of Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, who is in India for a 2-day visit. There's lots on the agenda when it comes to further bilateral cooperation and strengthening bilateral ties between the two. Chancellor of Germany, Friedrich Merz, arrived at the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport early today as he embarks on his first official visit to India. Shoring up bilateral ties in trade, in investment, critical technologies and defence are set to be the focus of wide-ranging talks between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and German Chancellor in Ahmedabad. Besides holding talks with Prime Minister Modi, is also scheduled to visit the Sabarmati Ashram. And these are the visuals that we're getting right now of the meet between the two. We're also given to understand that he will be participating in a kite festival and will attend a skill development event in Ahmedabad later on as well. There you can see these visuals live that we're getting from the Sabarmati Ashram there. These are the live visuals. That's German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, who is on his first official visit to India. For more on this, we have Siddhant with us. Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us. We're getting the live visuals here. Prime Minister Modi with Friedrich Merz there. What can you tell us of the bilateral engagements planned for the day?
It's a very, very important visit of German Chancellor Friedrich Merz to India. In fact, it's his first visit to Asia, and this visit is also happening ahead of the annual summit which takes place between the two countries. So it's not that this visit is happening for the annual summit, but this visit is happening ahead of the annual summit. Perhaps we could expect later this year Prime Minister Modi to be traveling to Germany for the annual summit. So it talks about the special relationship between India and Germany, and in fact both leaders have remained in touch. They have met also on the sidelines of the multilateral events, and now these powerful pictures are coming from Ahmedabad, where both leaders are visiting Sabarmati Ashram, paying tributes to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and after which, as per the itinerary of Chancellor's visit, both leaders will be going to attend the Kite Festival, which is already going on in Ahmedabad. Both leaders will be flying kite, after which they will hold delegation-level talks, followed by the press statement. So as I was pointing out before, a very, very significant visit, because this is the first visit of German Chancellor to Asia, and instead of going to China, he decided to visit India. Despite the trade between Germany and China is 8 times of the trade between Germany and India. So it shows that the German leadership, the current German leadership, is perhaps looking to diversify markets for German goods. Now, talking about the key takeaways, perhaps what we could expect from the visit, then there could be some announcement in the defense sector. Advancing defense cooperation will be high on agenda. Then focus would be on green tech and clean energy. We could also expect some announcements in education and academics. Perhaps in 2022, both India and Germany signed mobility pact, under which 90,000 Indians could go to Germany. So we could expect some mobility pact also to be signed between, or advancing of the cooperation in that. So it's going to be a very, very significant visit. In fact, it's the first incoming visit of any world leader to India in 2026, and also this is happening